Welcome to the tutorial for the Impact 2050 Municipal Emissions Reductions Playbook. The MERP is the official guide for municipal planners to work towards the equitable reduction of greenhouse gases in their city or town in the New Haven Metropolitan Statistical Area. The basis of the MERP is a set of strategies that was developed for the Climate Pollution Reduction Grant. These strategies work across 6 different sectors that produce greenhouse gas emissions: industry, waste management, transit, forestry and working lands, energy efficiency in buildings, and energy production. If you haven't already taken a look at the mitigation strategies, visit our webpage at cprgct.org and click on PCAP plus CCAP. You'll also find a sample MERP report and interactive dashboard there that you can work along with. Our mitigation strategies are comprehensive and wide-ranging. However, as our analysis has found, not all of them can happen at the local level. Each of them has an impact on greenhouse gas emissions, but some are more effective than others. On top of that, different towns are at different stages in their planning towards reducing greenhouse gases. The purpose of the MERP is to help you choose from the Impact 2050 mitigation strategies to reduce the most greenhouse gas emissions in your municipality. The MERP does this by implementing a classic planning method called an Eisenhower matrix. An Eisenhower grid splits up tasks into separate groups for easier decision making. In our version of it, which we call the Ike matrix, we categorize strategies based on our municipal level research into their feasibility versus their level of equitable impact. Using this method, we come up with 4 groups to base your decision making around: high impact strategies that aren't in use in your municipality to start, high impact strategies that aren't in use to continue, strategies currently in use that have low impact and should be paused, and low impact strategies you aren't using that should be considered low priority. How our mitigation strategies are organized within the priority matrix is what allows the MERP dashboard to personalize its results and make each one unique. This animation shows how mitigation strategies end up in the matrix. Here we have an unsorted set of mitigation strategies. We identify which strategies are and are not being implemented within a municipality. Then the strategies are sorted by their impact on greenhouse gas emissions. This sorting occurs through qualitative and quantitative scoring of the mitigation strategies, along with an equity component to ensure compliance with the Justice 40 requirements of the Climate Pollution Reduction Grant. Most importantly, the MERP dashboard gives you the power to update and rebalance your MERP to suit your needs at any time. Implementation status can be updated to determine where they fall, and rebalancing is possible to affect how they are sorted through the Calibration tab. Because the MERP makes its inner workings transparent and easily adjustable by the planner using it, they can say with confidence that the resulting priorities are the right fit for their city or town. Let's get started with the user interface of the MERP dashboard. At the bottom, you'll see the tabs README, Home, Ike Matrix, Ike Scoring, and Calibration, along with a few others. README tells you how to set up the sheet and enable the scripts that power it. Home gives you an overview of the strategies that are recommended in your MERP. The Ike Matrix, where strategies from the home page are listed in more detail. Ike Scoring, where research about your town is gathered. And Calibration, where you can determine the balance of how emissions reductions occur within different scenarios. Now that you know what each of these tabs is for, we can go through each one in a little more detail to understand how we can use them. Back on the Home tab, we get an overview of how many strategies fit into each of these categories. Scrolling to the bottom of the Home tab, we have the mitigation strategies that have been selected for the Start and Continue categories. Anywhere you see blue links go directly to a strategy on the cprgct.org authority to implement, where information about the implementation strategy and timeline can be found. Important color codings are also given in this section. Strategies that apply to LIDACs or low-income and disadvantaged communities are highlighted in blue. For information about the EPA's definition of LIDACs, please see cprgct.org/LIDAC. There's also color codings related to the importance threshold, which can be adjusted in the Calibrations tab covered later in this video. The Ike Matrix tab shows the same content as the home page with additional detail. All 4 categories are shown along with additional color coding. If you're looking to update the MERP and get a new set of priorities in your Ike matrix, it's done on the Ike Scoring tab. Here, all the research into implementation status of mitigation strategies in your municipality is collected on one page. In every cell in this tab, there is a drop-down where you can select different options for the status of any strategy. Your existing conditions, level of readiness, POCD, and cost to implement can be entered here. Modifying the values in the drop-down will result in a different set of priorities appearing in the Home and Ike Matrix tabs. These are the variables that determine if strategies appear on the Ike Matrix in either the Start and Deprioritize categories or in the Continue and Pause categories. Before we wrap up, let's quickly go over how the MERP can be rebalanced using the Calibrations tab. Here we have a side-by-side view of a simplified version of the Calibrations tab and the Priority Matrix from the Home tab. The Calibrations tab is showing the balance of greenhouse gas emissions across sectors based on information from the PCAP's Greenhouse Gas Emissions Inventory. The ordering of strategies in the Priority Matrix is based upon these balances. Because mobility and transportation is the biggest emitter of greenhouse gases, these strategies will float to the top more often. We can change these weightings under a custom scenario. To get started, we change our scenario on the Home tab from Fossil-Free Future to Custom. From there, the process of editing the weights is simple. We click any one of these drop-downs, we set a new value, and we see how the ordering of priorities on the Home tab's matrix has changed. With the Calibrations tab, you are given a highly granular means of affecting how your priorities are considered in your MERP. The other options that you see in the Scenario menu on the Home tab relate to the scenario planning framework that was used in writing the Impact 2050 strategies. To learn more about scenario planning and how it factored into Impact 2050, check out the URL below. This video may be duplicated or redistributed as long as credit is given to the original creators. You may change or expand the content, but it cannot be used for commercial purposes. To give credit in copies of this material, please include the text shown below.